Welcome to the Low and Slow podcast.
We're your girls, Crystal and Laken. If you press play today, trust, you made the right decision.
And know whenever you're listening to this, it's exactly the right time.
We invite you to pull up a seat to the conversation, get curious about your current perspective,
and lean in for the opportunity to see yourself in another woman's story.
We created That Girl Magic because we've been where you are.
Here, the talk is real and the breath is steady.
Let's get into your next mindset shift.
Welcome back to the Low and Slow podcast. It's your hosts, Crystal and Laken. And today that we are talking about something fun in a practical way, but then also a little bit of woo thrown in that is digestible. So we're going to be talking about something that everyone handles differently, right? How you take action and how you handle confrontation, and how both of those intertwine, where they intertwine. And when we're using something that is very fun to me, that I love astrology, but we're using it in a very grounded way. So not to put you in a box, right? Not to say this is what you have to be, but to give you a deeper understanding, kind of like human design, to give you some language to maybe patterns that you're already living. So we're talking about a planet today called Mars. Mars is the planet of action. It's the planet of drive. It's the planet of anger, desire, how you assert yourself. And so when people say, I hate conflict, or I go 0 to 100, I get heated fast, or maybe I shut down, that's Mars. So we want to bring astrology in like a practical way, and then actually apply it of like, how the hell is this showing up in my real life?
Yeah. And what we want to normalize is that there are different ways to take action and confront things, and none of them are right or wrong. Problems usually come from misunderstandings, not necessarily incompatibility.
Yes. Yes. So we encourage you as
we see that all the time, right? It's like people are like, oh, like it's a communication issue.
Yeah. Yeah. So we encourage you today as you listen, right? If you know a little bit about astrology, or you know where your Mars placement's at, great. If you don't, that's okay too, right? You're going to get a lot out of this episode because it's not just about like the planet itself. It's about like how we take action, how we handle confrontation. And so this surface level application really gives you some insight on what Mars really represents.
Yeah. So Mars is how you go after what you want, right? It's how you initiate, how you respond under pressure, and how you handle anger or boundaries.
Yeah. It also shows you how safe or really unsafe confrontation feels in your body, right? Which is like getting the nervous system involved, like we talk about. So some people confront things immediately. Others need time. By no accident, we're very much real life examples of this. And again, neither is better. It's all about bringing it into your awareness, right? A lot of times this is subconscious. We don't even realize that, maybe until we're around someone else who handles it differently. So the biggest takeaway here, as you're listening, Mars equals, right? Mars is the action and the confrontation style plus the motivation to do so. So with Mars, my Mars is in Cancer. Again, very real life examples. My Mars is in Cancer. Laken's, what is your Mars again? Leo. Yes. Okay. So
all the Leo.
Leo sun, right? This is the only Cancer part in my chart, but with my Mars in Cancer, action for me is more emotional. I don't just move to move. Like I move when something is meaningful, when I actually care about something, when it's personal, when I'm very like protective. Like I have my why there is super big, right? And so that's what Mars looks like for me. I want to make sure we distinguish that first. Like, go ahead, and what is your Mars being in Leo for you?
So my Mars in Leo is a little bit more direct, right? It's like, it's bold, it's expressive. I process through action and conversation, and I'd rather address something immediately. Like I really, really struggle to like sit in something. If I have disconnection, or if I have something that feels unclear, or if there's uncertainty around conflict between me and another person, we got to get that shit figured out. Like I can't just be like, oh yeah, we'll just pretend like everything's okay, or I'll just wait until I'm ready to talk about it. No, like we gotta talk about it.
Yeah. So just like very upfront, right? Very two different things. And again, neither of them are wrong. So for me in confrontation, like I feel things first, right? My body is going to light up something within me before my words do. And sometimes if I articulate that too fast, right? It's like I get ahead of myself. I don't have clarity enough to do that first. So if I confront it too fast, I can get overwhelmed, or I can shut down. Like this is a very like, it checks. You want to use astrology as a way to not give you like, again, the box to put you in, but to really allow you like, oh, I do it that way. And like, that's how I do it. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me. It's like gives me further understanding. So personally for me, I need regulation first, before I can express what it is that I'm feeling. And sometimes regulation with, especially it being Cancer, it's like, I need to cry. Crying is regulation. I need to feel. And, without that, I have learned time and time again, when I just jump right into it, that's when my nervous system is like, no girl. Right. And then, you know, you get into that. There's a whole nother ball game, but I've learned this about myself, and now I can actually
other people could view that as like avoidance.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and a lot of times, this is where the information comes in handy, because at some point, I'm sure you probably felt like you were avoidant because of what was being projected on you by other people, or how they perceive that need for more time or more regulation before you were ready to express or talk about it. Right. So it's like, it's not avoidance. It's just like the time that you need to process.
Yeah. Yeah. And like using this as a tool to learn to gather more information about yourself for what works best for you. So if I wait too long, this is also the thing too, right? Where we talked about, emotional avoidance a couple episodes ago. If I wait too long, that's when resentment builds, right? And this is also, you know, there's in astrology, there's what the planet is, but then there's also the shadow of that planet. That's kind of like the not self in human design, right? And so I've had to learn by that addressing things earlier, maybe before they're heavy, before I'm to a point where I'm starting to kind of feel irritated by everything, right? That is when like there's that small window of when that resentment can build, and I want to address it before I get there. So learning this and having the awareness around this has actually really been able to have this like self-protection that I have of like, I know what I need, I give it to myself, and then once I'm ready, I'm like, okay, that this is when I can do something about this. And if I choose not to, it's like I know what comes on the other side of that. So like it gives me more information about myself. I'm going to give you a work example here because I know this comes up a lot for confrontation, right? Feels like anytime that something is addressed in maybe the workplace or relationships, sometimes this, you know, this is where that shows up, and how do we take action from that, right? So in work, let's say this is showing up as wanting emotional safety with, like people who you're collaborating with, right? And if let's say you don't feel safe unless you pull back before speaking up, but this is where using this information, it's like, okay, well, actually I feel very grounded and clear and firm. Like once I give myself a little bit of that space just before dodging right in and having someone then maybe not agree with me, or, you know, like I have to give myself that space to land first, and create that safety internally. And then when I speak up and I'm coming from a grounded, neutral place, I'm not high or low, then it comes across like, oh, okay, this is what she's saying. It's clear, it's firm, and this is then how I can be collaborative with others. So again, using these things as tools to understand what works best for you and how to support yourself through what you need rather than shaming yourself maybe from handling it different. So that's Mars and Cancer, personally for me, my perspective. Let's talk about the Mars and Leo for you, Lake. Give them a little bit more context of how this is for you.
Yeah. So for me, confrontation is not something that I avoid. Like it's not personal. It's like it provides clarity for me. I don't want tension lingering, and I need momentum. I need motion. I need movement.
Action. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I think this is where like just even in our dynamic, right? It's like this used to feel intense for me, right? And it's like, whoa, like that's a lot, but I understand now, especially in our dynamic, it's like that I understand for you that is addressing its regulation. Like that's what you need in order to like create that safety in you. Just like I need that time. It's like that's what you need in order to feel
Yeah,
safe
because for
there.
me, like stagnation is the irritant, right? Like it's the thing that like I really struggle to sit with. Um, it feels like unrest, right? And so when someone goes quiet, my Mars and Leo can interpret that as like rejection or disapproval because, even when that's not what's happening, I'm thinking like, okay, well, why aren't we moving? Why aren't we taking action? I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. 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 And
Yeah.
it's interesting, like just us giving you guys the different perspectives. Like we're not here today to go all into all of the signs in Mars. We're here to show you that like you can own what works for you and use this as a tool and be able to, if you're lucky to have someone real life example of you, Laken and I are kind of like total opposites of each other. But when we learn how to deal with these and like communicate with them, it's like when I take time, that doesn't mean anything about her. And when, I can't, when I can't confront it directly right away, that doesn't mean anything about me. Right. So I think, if we can have some more clarity around this and we can understand, possibly where the mishap happens and not blame ourselves, that's where the magic is. Because like that is where conflict happens, not because someone's wrong, but because, they're honestly speaking two different languages. And this is a real life example for you. We speak almost two different languages for real. So if your Mars is in Cancer, you may think I need safety before I speak or before I express, right? And if your Mars is in Leo, you may also think like, okay, let's just talk about this now and move forward. And that's okay. You can honor both.
Yeah, like both are valid, but we tend to project stories onto each other based on what we're interpreting or what we're feeling or what's going on internally inside of us, right? So it's like different doesn't have to equal dysfunctional, but it is helpful, like we said, to have this information to know, okay, well, what could this other person's experience be? It may not be the same as mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also gives you, it also gives you a really nice, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Playing field, right? To practice that, like to understand that what may work for you doesn't work for someone else. And like, how can I, this is where we talk all the time, leaning into curiosity. Can I listen to understand, even though I may not be able to relate or experiencing that in the same way? Because then that has me learn how to interact with someone very different than me, but then also has me learn like in a friendship or whatever, like what that person, like how to best work with that person, right? It helps you learn how to communicate in a different way. So if your Mars is in Cancer and you're relating to some of the things that I'm saying, you are going to lead through safety, through consistency, through emotional intelligence. Your authority here, and that word, throwing that out, is like, I've had to learn what my authority looks like. And a lot of times for most of my life, I was living in like shaming that authority, that I needed that extra time and that I had so many emotions and all of that, right? But the authority here is quiet but powerful when you can create that space for yourself and then come from it from like a neutral, grounded place. Because the highs and the lows, operating from both of theirs, it doesn't always feel safe.
Yeah. And if your Mars is in Leo, your leadership is going to come more from confidence and visibility and decisiveness. So you can energize people in that way, but some people are going to feel very triggered by that, or, they're going to feel like, I don't know, I don't really like intimidated, but essentially like they're going to take it personally in a way that's like, oh, if I'm not doing that, then that means the way that I'm doing it is wrong, right? Or it's like it's highlighting maybe things that
because
I feel like I should be doing, like this pressure, right? But that doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And this is like the example too. Like we're going to go through each of these for like, this is work and leadership, right? So having your work and your relationships, this may look very different where these apply, but if you can understand, where this works for you. This is how in different areas you can start to experiment on like, oh, how do I handle this here? And start to ask yourself. So, a couple questions to ask yourself here. How do you take action? How do you naturally take action? Like, what is the first way you do things? Do you need more time? Or do you need conversation? Do you need to address it right away? What helps you feel safe enough to really be honest? Be honest in the moment, or be honest with a boss or a friend or coworker or whatever. Let's talk about how this can apply in relationships. So if you were to keep asking yourself these questions, like, what do I need before confrontation? What are some of the things I need? Maybe it's reassurance, maybe it's space, maybe it's clarity.
And that could look very different from what your partner needs, right? So it's like, what does my partner need? That could be immediate dialogue. That could be, warmth or connection or recognition, like being affirmed. And so confrontation doesn't have to be like a character flaw. It's just really a nervous system response.
Yeah. And whenever we're like coexisting with someone, right? It's like I think this is a very important distinction to make, is like, as you are learning what your nervous system needs, yes, we're throwing in astrology here today, but if you take out astrology, what are we talking about? We're learning what our nervous system needs first. And then when we're interacting or coexisting with someone else, it's like their nervous systems may need something completely different, which is okay. All right. So this is where once you can acknowledge that, this is where you can start to take authentic action. When you understand your Mars placement, or you understand how you take action, how you handle confrontation, you stop trying to force yourself into someone else's style, right? Because you're actually acknowledging what it is that you need. And like, we talk about that a lot in this podcast, in our work, like going back to what you need first, not what someone else needed you to be, but what you actually need. And then how to give that to yourself, but then also articulate like to someone else, hey, this is what I actually need. And sometimes that is challenging. It is.
Yeah. So essentially just start asking better questions, and not only of yourself, but also of the other people in your life that maybe you have frequent confrontation with. That would be a really good opportunity to start getting a little bit more curious and asking questions that'll get you a different result than what's currently happening.
Mm-hmm. So the awareness here that we're talking about is like, that's what's going to be the thing that creates compassion. That's what's going to be the thing that creates connection. That's what's going to create someone being able to say, okay, like, I don't relate in this way, but it allows you to be seen too. And like, I want to see what you need as well. And the compassion creates for better leadership, for better relationships, better boundaries. Because remember, we're setting those essentially for ourselves first. And so other people can understand how to interact with us. So if this episode, and I know that, this is the first time we introduced astrology in this way, like astrology to me is so fun. You can go to online and look up what your astrology is, like your big three, or just even having, an understanding of what your Mars is. If you know your birth time, if you are interested in taking a look at what that looks further, let us know. We can connect you with someone, or we can possibly look that up for you. Sometimes it's just about
you do need your birth time though. That's the only elusive number that like some people or a lot of people don't have.
Yeah. And the exact one, not an estimate. Like I think I was born at 12. No, we need the exact number. Because it does change things. So if this episode helped you see yourself in some way, and maybe it's not through the your Mars in Cancer or your Mars in Leo, but just got you curious and just gave you some validation of like, hey, it's okay to take action and handle confrontation differently. Share it with someone who maybe does know their Mars that would enjoy this episode, or someone who wants to be applying this work more deeply, because these are certain tools that we can use to help you navigate that. So the link is always in our show notes. You guys can still submit request to reframe. We really, really appreciate if you guys would rate, subscribe, like, share, review. We're trying to get our YouTube subscribers up. So if you have YouTube, going on there and following us.
And if you don't, just go onto YouTube and do it anyway.
Yeah, just make one. It's fine. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else, Lake? This one was short, sweet, digestible. Just something fun.
Yeah, short and sweet. We appreciate you guys. If you guys have more interest in things to do with astrology when it comes to how that is applied to day-to-day life interactions or relationships, or how it shows up for you personally in personal reflection, yeah, let us know. We're happy to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just Mars. This is just a piece of it. But we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Have a good one.
Bye.
When was the last time you felt truly clear and at peace?
Maybe you've been asking yourself, why can't I just feel peace?
Most of us don't just need another escape. Vacation is great and all, but what we really need is integration.
When's the last time you gave yourself permission to play? As adults, we don't do that enough. And this is to be messy, curious, maybe even a little wild, like the little girl you used to be. She's still here. She's just waiting for you to say it's safe to come out again.
That's why we created Peace, Play, Love. For 7 days in the Costa Rican jungle, luxury meets real life with story work, somatic practices, and nervous system tools that help you not just reset here, but take that peace home with you.
I've been bringing women to Costa Rica for years because this land and the people have been a part of my own healing journey. And all of us have left transformed for the better.
At Peace, Play, Love, we'll slow down together, we'll breathe, we'll meet the guilt, the shame, the exhaustion, and learn how to alchemize them into permission, into softness, into peace that you can actually feel in your body.
This retreat is deeper than a pause. We're not just unplugging you, we are rewiring you.
I've witnessed these women laugh from the depths of their souls, feel reconnected to who they truly are, tear up from actually taking in a sunset, and watching as their shame, their stress, and fears all float off into the great beyond.
You'll map your next season with clarity and leave with insight to keep your nervous system regulated and your choices aligned long after you return. We keep it small on purpose, just 9 women, each supported through high-touch coaching, sisterhood, and real community.
The women who come, they're do-it-allers. They show up no matter what. They climb the mountain with the weight of the world on their back and a smile on their face, because that's just what they do. But they're looking at this next chapter of their life, and they know that they don't want it to feel like the last 5 did.
You don't have to hold it all anymore. You don't have to keep proving you're okay. This retreat is your safe place to land, and it's your invitation to play again.
There's something magical in this land that helps you find the magic in you. The light turns on, the weight lightens, and from there, you decide what the next chapter will be and who you will be inside of that on your terms. This is the magic of saying yes to you.
If you're craving calm and clarity that sticks, this is your invitation to join us in Costa Rica in June. Come exhale with us and remember who you are beneath the noise.